S.M.I.L E Youth Lounge, a space where young minds come together to learn, grow, and connect. We dive into topics that actually matter, from relationship to money, movies, mental health, leadership, business, and career goals. You name it, we talk about it. And the best part, we keep it real and interactive. And maybe you should expect giveaway, teasers, and a whole lot of vibes. So if you're ready to level up, connect with like-minded people, and get insights that actually matter, hit the subscribe button now. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Youth Lounge. My name is Ruth Abimbola. Thank you for all the support that you've given to this show, this platform in general. We really appreciate it, and we do not take it for granted. Like I always say, Youth Lounge is a space where young minds come together to learn, to grow, and to connect. And today, in this particular episode, we are going to be talking about winning the battle of self-doubt or overcoming the lies you tell yourself. Because as young individuals, I can relate to the fact that we tell ourselves a lot of lies that aren't even true.
Fun fact: are these surprising stat or anecdote? Over 70% of people, including successful entrepreneurs and celebrities, experience imposter syndrome at some point. Affirmations and positive self talk have been shown to reduce stress and increase resilience. The more small wins you achieve, the more your confidence compounds.
And I won't be doing the episode alone. Like you already know, we always have a guest on this show. And my guest today is joining us all the way from the United States of America. My guest is a young woman of many parts. She's a psychotherapist, an artist, a podcaster, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Miss Paula Bangboshe Martins once again on S.M.I.L E Youth Lounge. Thank you so much, Miss Paula, for joining us. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing well, doing really well. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So we are just going to delve straight into the episode, and like I said at the beginning of the this episode, we are going to be talking about winning the battle of self doubt. So basically, we are going to be unraveling everything about self doubt and overcoming the lies that we tell ourselves as young individuals in our society today. So, I'd like to ask you, Miss Paula, what's one thing or what's the first thought that comes to your mind when you are offered a big opportunity? How do you react to
I
it?
think most times when I am offered a big opportunity, obviously there's naturally excitement
Mm-hmm.
that is there. And I think in my own case, I have either already processed the multiple different
Mm-hmm.
outcomes of an opportunity before I get it or not get it.
Oh.
So most times it doesn't have that much impact if I don't get it. But if
Mm.
I do get it, I see it as a sign that this is something that I should be doing, if that makes sense. So I'm very intentional with how I live my life. So what that also means is I truly believe that if something is not for me, it's not even going to be at my forefront.
Mm.
And if something is for me, especially if I have prayed about it, I've thought about it, that most times I'm able to sort of know by the time I do get it that this is something I'm supposed to be doing. So it's more excitement of what that could possibly mean now that I've
Mm.
gotten that opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much for that response. And the reason I asked that question is because as young people, sometimes when we get opportunities like that, we are just scared of, oh, how do I handle it? How do I go about it? It's excitement
Yeah,
first, and then you now start getting worried and telling yourselves lies that aren't
yeah,
even true about, oh, maybe how you think you're not good enough for the opportunity and all of that. And it's so good to see that you
yeah,
see it from a positive point of view. And I hope that somebody watching today is able to, be like Miss Paula and, react positively to opportunities. So many young people compare themselves to, people online, they compare themselves online.
Mm,
What would you say to anyone caught in this trap of comparison? And the reason I'm asking you what you think you would like to say to somebody who is caught in that trap of comparison is because they might not be doing it intentionally. They might not deliberately want to compare
mhm,
themselves, but they just find themselves,
mm.
doing it. So, what would you say to somebody caught in that trap of comparison?
I think comparison is it's very common, and I'll tell you this that I have been someone personally who it was hard for me to compare myself to people
Hmm.
because I always saw myself as very odd, not in a bad way,
Yeah,
but
I get it.
more so in a way of like I saw my journey as very unique to me. There were a lot of things that people were good at that I wasn't good at, but then there were things that you wouldn't think that I would be good at, that I would be good at. So already I sort of saw it very difficult for me to compare myself. But I would tell you that in the past year and a half, since I opened my own business and I've been running my own private practice, I've actually had a lot more experiences of me finding myself comparing
Hmm.
myself and me, the imposter like
Yeah,
syndrome, the
syndrome. I
feeling
get
around
it.
that, which is very interesting for me to see that it is possible for you to go through life and the imposter syndrome, the comparison is not as much, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to find times in your life where it shows up a
Yeah,
lot more,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
it does.
I think for me, it really opened my eyes to realizing that one, this can happen to anybody. Two, because it's not happening to you now doesn't mean that it may not happen to you at some point in
Mm-hmm.
time. But this is an experience that at least we can all say as human beings that we share.
Yeah.
And fortunately and unfortunately, we live in a world where from the comfort of our home, we have a front row seat as to what is curated to be every other person's life through social media.
Mm.
So the increase in comparison becomes even higher because we can easily just open our phones and see maybe five different posts from five different people, and immediately our brain goes, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing
Yeah.
enough.
Why am I not doing
They have
this?
they have so much going on in
Mm-hmm.
their life, I don't. So I think that unfortunately, because that's the case, we almost have to be people who are so intentional about how we live our lives, so structured about how we live our lives, so disciplined in how we live our lives. Because if we're not, the idea of seeing ourselves through the eyes of other people's journey is going to be it's going to be very easy for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. Thank you so much for that response.
Welcome to this week's brain teaser. Let's get right into it. I live in your head and whisper lies. I grow when you compare and shrink when you try. What am I? Let me know what your answers are, and I will reveal the answer as usual before the end of this episode.
Can you describe a moment where you like doubted yourself? And has there ever been a moment where you really wanted something, but you felt like you weren't good enough for it? And how were you able to overcome that self doubt and believe that you were good enough for the opportunity?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I'm obviously thinking more career profession
Yeah.
wise. There's two experiences that are standing out to me. So the second one though, I don't know if I didn't doubt myself
Okay.
at first. I was made to
Hmm.
doubt myself, which
Oh,
is very different.
I get it.
Whereas the first one was more of me when I did not get that opportunity, I then doubted myself. So, say for example, I had applied for a doctorate after my master's program. I'd always said I wanted to get a PhD and do research. I had gotten to a point where I had interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten to a point where I had been waitlisted at some universities, and then it sort of came back that all the schools that I applied to, I got waitlisted, and I think maybe one I got rejected. So meaning it was not going to happen. And I remember I didn't take it well. I saw it as a reflection of my intelligence, my competency, and I think one of the things I feel very grateful for is that my faith is very rooted in who I am.
Yeah.
It's very rooted in my identity, my relationship with God, me having an intimate enough relationship with God where if things like this happen, I seek Him, I ask, is this not meant for me? Is this meant for me? Like, what exactly does this mean? So, of course, as a human being, you go through those seasons of not feeling good enough, feeling as though, did I do something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Why did this person maybe get into a program and I didn't?
Yeah.
But I always felt that time would eventually tell,
Right.
right? In the sense where, okay, how can I pivot? If this is not meant for me right now, how can I pivot? And I think that's such a very good question to ask yourself is that most times we are going in a straight direction. This is where we think we're supposed to be going. And then we get stuck along the way. And the immediate thought is to give up,
Mm-hmm.
is to stay there, is to be stagnant. But I believe in the power of pivoting,
Right.
meaning you redirect. The life is so not linear for you to be moving linear in life. You get a rejection somewhere, you receive acceptance somewhere else. This does not work out, you pivot to
Mm-hmm.
what could actually work out, or what does this like what is this revealing to you about yourself? And of course, now down the line, this is what 8 years or so later when that had happened. And I don't know if I would have all the opportunities I have today if I had gotten into the PhD program, because
Yeah.
that actually allowed me to work, get my license, specialize in family therapy, specialize in couples therapy, grow my own work experience to get to a point where I became licensed in multiple
Yeah. It
states,
was like a
get to a point where I
redirection.
eventually started to teach, get to a point. It's funny because one of the things that I had always assumed and believed was if I don't get a PhD, I will never be able to teach.
Hmm.
That was sort of the belief, right? So now fast forward to today where I get to teach a non-structural class. So meaning the class is sort of what I make it. So there's a
Exactly.
lot of freedom and
Mm-hmm.
flexibility, which is something I really enjoy, having freedom, flexibility, and agency. And I look back and I go, so somehow I still ended up being able to teach at
Exactly.
even my former grad school. And I did not have to go 5 years in being able to study
To
to
be
get
able
a
to,
doctorate for me
yeah,
to be able to do the things that I'm doing now. So I think that pivoting and redirection is very, very key.
very, very
But of
key.
course, in situations where like the second one where I had applied for a job and basically the owner of the job said the only way I would give you this job is if I am paying you this. And what she was paying me was significantly lower than what I was being even paid already.
Mm.
And she told me I wasn't worthy. Like I wasn't
Wow.
worthy or worth getting what I thought I believe that I should be earning because I was not on the level to which she expected, or like on the level, whatever level she was comparing herself to.
Wow.
And I had to really, and my mom obviously was there when all of this happened, and I had to really fight some of those negative thoughts of,
Hmm.
I came into this believing that I was worthy, but then now you're telling me that I am not. So now, of course, I'm going to compare myself to the people that you think
Yeah,
are worthy.
definitely.
And around the premise of all of that as well was around me not being an experienced enough couples and family therapist because it's a specialization that you not everyone can do. Now, of course, thankfully, I didn't believe. I tried my best to ensure that I was working against that belief. And I think because I'm someone who grew up with a lot of people doubting me, I was not necessarily the most intelligent kid growing up. I struggled academically. I almost get a kick out of proving people wrong, if you want
Mm,
to put it that way, but not making it my sole purpose and identity, but just
yeah.
more so in understanding that I am on my own journey. There's people who are going to project their lack of belief in me on me. I don't have to take it as mine. And of course, fast forward to today, I am a couples and family
You're
therapist, and I
doing well
get
for
paid a lot
yourself.
more.
Exactly.
Get paid a lot more than what this person had said initially. So I think it's very interesting how sometimes we can compare ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
we can also believe what other people believe about us and take it as our own.
Wow, that's so insightful. And I'm so glad that you get to share your experience with us.
And the answer to our brain teaser is drumroll self doubt. If you guessed the answer correctly, a big shout out to you.
So we are just going to play a game quickly before we round up. Thank you
Okay.
so much for coming on the show. The game is quick pick, so you basically just get to pick something. So I want you to tell me if it is a fact or fear. The options I'm going to be reading out to you. So are you
Okay.
ready? All
Yep,
right,
I am.
let's go. So one, two, you're going to tell me if it is a fact or a fear. Everyone already knows more than me.
Okay.
Is that a fact or a fear?
Everyone already knows more than you, so that's a statement, right?
Yes, it is.
That's definitely fair.
All
That is
right.
not a fact because everybody does not already know more than you. So that's
Exactly.
fair.
I agree with you. So if I make a mistake, I'll lose respect. Is that a fair or fact?
That's fair.
All right. Failure is part of growth. Is that a fair or a fact?
That's fact.
All right. If I try and fail, everyone will see me differently. Fair or fact?
That's fair.
All right. Even experts once felt like beginners. Fact or fear?
Absolutely fact.
All right. I should wait for someone to validate me before I lead. Fact or fear?
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
Confidence grows through action, not waiting. Fear or fact?
That's fact.
All right. Imposter syndrome affect even highly successful people. Is that fear or fact?
That's definitely fact.
All right. This was so fun. I enjoyed this conversation with you. I really do. And that brings us to the end of
Thank
this
you.
episode. Is there something that you like to tell our audience at home before we round up?
I think my sort of takeaway around comparison, right, and
Mm-hmm.
self-doubt is that I think it's okay to like it's okay where like you're a human being. Like
Yeah.
we sometimes unfortunately don't necessarily see ourselves the way in which we would like to. But if there's one thing that I have been able to learn about just life in general as well, is that if we aren't our own biggest supporters, putting the expectation on people to be our biggest supporters makes no sense.
True.
Because what we're doing is we're projecting already to people that we don't support ourselves. So the expectation that people are going to support us or see us with the value in which we
Mm-hmm.
actually do have is going to be very low. So it really starts within us.
Right.
Most times we have to be able to recognize that what we want to receive from people is what we also have to put out there into the universe as well. So start by learning to be your own biggest advocate, your biggest supporter. And I don't think you can ever go wrong by doing that.
Thank you so much for that takeaway. Where can
Thank
we
you
reach
very
you,
much.
Miss Paula? For the people who would like to look you up online, where can we reach you?
A quick Google search with Paula B. Martins or Paula Bangwashe Martins will direct you to my Instagram, which is
All
Paula
right.
B. Martins, my
Mhm.
TikTok, which is Paula B. Martins, also the website for my practice as well, the humantherapistllc.com. And of course, to find my music, it's Paula B. Music.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Youth Lounge. I hope that you've been able to take a lot of things, learn from Miss Paula's experience, just like somebody denied her of an opportunity that she felt like she was good for, like she was very fit for, and she was still able to bounce back, build a successful career for herself. That is like a very big motivation, and I hope that you are able to learn from our lesson. Please do not forget to keep following us, keep supporting us, keep liking, keep sharing Youth Lounge to everybody you know. Follow us at Smile Youth Lounge online on all platforms. And please, 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 please do not forget to subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss out on any episode that we have for you. I will see you next time. Thank you for joining us today.